panel here with the new edition of Lockdown Ponytail, where me and Percy show off our new haircuts. Percy's had a trim. I haven't yet, but I will soon, promise. But more importantly, we're here for the new super duper Soviet SYNTHFUNDIBULum, which is quite hard to say, and even harder to say is my collaborator on this is the guy who owns some amazing, weird and wonderful Soviet synths, Art Tadevosyan. I hope I got that right, Art. You can kick me if I didn't. What this is, it's a new variation on the Infundibulum, but we've added some extra stuff, and it's full of kind of crazy, great sounding synthesizers in a way that you've never heard them before and probably never will again. So what we have is similar to the usual Infundibulum. I should also add that there will be an update of the original Infundibulums as well. They'll get the new snazzy stuff. So similarly, we've got the three amazing sequencers stroke gate machines, which can be any length at any speed, and you just draw stuff in and stuff happens. I'll go through that in a minute. So any length from 1 step to 64 steps, like that. We've added an EQ section here as well, which is a bit more elaborate than the one before, which is really nice for a bit of sculpting. There's a phaser section as well, which these are on the kind of master inserts, which has got depth and speed, which is about all you need on a phaser. There's also a new bit of distortion up here, which comes as a convenient little red star. So that's distortion per layer, per oscillator, we'll call them, before it hits this distortion here, which affects everything, and before it hits this distortion here, which also affects everything. Oh, everything in this lane. But what's also new is, if we go over here, boink, we've now got a kind of filter section as well. So we've got filter arps which work in the same way as the other fellas. So you've got loads of steps, and you can draw in low pass and high pass filter positions in different lengths, different speeds, etc., etc. And we've also added per lane, we've got resonance control, you click and drag to add super resonance and stuff like that. So that's the kind of extras, which actually on a synth-based instrument make more sense than not having them, and they do really add a whole extra layer. We've also got a whole nother layer of Soviet, I've called them Soviet, but these are from a kind of crazy delay device that Arta has as well, which is rather lovely sounding. So it's a kind of quite a grungy, kind of old-fashioned delay unit, which you might find. Actually, he's going to tell you about in the video he's made. If you want to know what the synths are, here we go. Got an Alita, EM25, Maestro, the manual, which is now broken, the Opus, the Unost, and the Vermona. So those are the things we've sampled. And put it all together, I've just done some fiddling around with that thing now, so I don't know how it's going to sound, but put it all together and you have a kind of really quite powerful synth engine. I'm just trying to find some chords here. It's very basic. Powerful synth engine. So you've got, there's your drop-down menu per lane, we'll call it. So you can choose between which synth you want to use and which kind of sound per synth. There's not a huge amount of these because, to be honest, they're quite simple, but what they do have is quite a special sound. Turn them on and off here. You've got the same possibilities in each one, so you can have, as I've got here, just as a quick startup, you've got 3 Alita ones, and with different octaves and different panning just for a kind of wide thing. But obviously you can make, there's probably an addable, countable number of variations, but there's a lot of variations possible, obviously, as you mix them. And you will get different things happening. So you can use singles or doubles or triples. In fact, let's just do that. Let's start off with just a basic Opus sound. Opus 3, just to check what it is the Opus sub, which is nice enough. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. So that's the basic sound. So, for instance, let's look There's your filter. Let's give it a bit of resonance. What about if we go over here, turn on, and this basically acts like a kind of LFO, if you wanted to think of it like that you can kind of draw in. The moment you can hear each shift, and we can soften that here. So that kind of makes it kind of glides between the settings. It's not extreme at the moment because it's quite a low sounding thing anyway. Add in the high pass. Now the high pass has a screaming resonance possibility. What if you speed that up? See what I mean? So you can actually do quite nice things with the resonance on that. We've also got chorus here with speed, which gives that a nice bit of width if you need it. And let's add some Soviet 1. Bit of aftertouch gives you a little bit of wobble as well. So that's just one of them. EQ here. Makes quite a difference. You've got a volume control here, which is handy for kind of balancing things, because you've got a lot of various kind of level adjusters here. So balancing them, you have to be careful not to. Everything's got lots of leeway here, so it doesn't blow your speakers or your mind. It might blow your mind. Also this grist here as well. Phaser. Where is he? So there you go, one basic sound. What happens if we add in a liter? If the liter, if it's already got some ARP stuff going on, let's turn that off. Sorry, filter stuff. Let's turn on this and let's go to the gate mode, which basically is a kind of tremolo effect. So it kind of cuts volume in and out while this loops around. So you can kind of build interesting tremolo gates. Let's just do a very quick 2 steps. Decay. Wonk moves it a bit off time, which if we add in another one with 2 gates, same speed, turn it on. If we add the wonk here, see, so they can kind of slip in and out of phase, which is quite nice. I mean, you know, straight away, there's something kind of usable. Let's just put a ghost on that. Delay is here as well. Turn it on there. This is a delay send to this delay here. There you go. So you can hear the wonk in action there. Put him back in sync. Swing as well is swing. Different, so you can even see it there. Look, let's put them both up to extreme-ish. Kind of confusing it somewhat. Short. See, I mean, it's just really easy to come up with nice rhythmic things. If take that into a 3, what's going to happen? Maybe there's a bit too much resonance on that. Let's make that less obvious. Let's turn off the flip and phaser. So it's kind of that easy. You've got the loop here. So these are the loop lengths which you can, let's go back to just an Alita. Let's turn that off. And the loops are kind of semi-deliberate, so you can hear where they are. So that's the loop length, which goes right down to short, and that's the loop start. And this is also the start of the sample, which is more relevant to some sounds than others, say the wow. Less obvious. There's one of them. Which is it? Cello. So you can take off the little bit of thing at the start. There's ones that are more obvious than that. I just can't remember. Oh, here you go. There you go. So that actually moves quite a lot, the sample. So you can take off the initial bit. There you go. So even that is just changing the sound quite rapidly, quite a lot. So you got stuff to play with there. Let's put on that again. Let's take off the super swing. Let's have more steps. Let's turn it into an ARP. We got lots of different. We got a chord thing, so it doesn't arpeggiate. It just kind of re-triggers whatever chord you're playing, and the ARPs are obviously more ARPy. So I've got a 10 against, let's put a 10 against a 3 with that. And you can mix them here, obviously. Let's put that third one in. I didn't know I was going to end up doing this. And it's not, it's not all about just relying on delay and reverb as well. That's pretty nice anyway. Let's have a look at the distortion units in here. So you've got a kind of tube style distortion. Let's turn those off. Let's turn that off. That is off. So you've got a kind of tube style distortion with drive and damp, which kind of, they're doing various different things. And then there's also a transistor style distortion. And it's worth moving this around for the sound you want. I mean, we can go super gnarly here. Possibly getting. And then you've also got this, we've got the bit crunching going on. So you can take it down to kind of 0 bits and 0 kilohertz, or just turn it all off. See, this is where that is handy. Rotor. Add the opus back in. I don't know what that's doing. Let's do a super fast arpeggiator thing. I have no idea what's going to happen. It's also got crazy this stuff going on. Let's turn that off. Okay, interesting. Let's turn that off. There you go. So that was going super fast. Let's make that a bit slower. Let's take it down to something not quite so daft. Let's actually turn it on. There you go. So it's nice the way you can get kind of polyrhythmic things happening quite easily. See, some of these reverbs are more kind of EQ-y kind of space things rather than spatial things, but many of them aren't. Oh, also vibrato here. A little bit too much reverb. Turn that off, turn that off. This reverb here on the inserts is quite nice if you turn it completely wet. But then you can then use these reverb sends to add something else in there. I'm sure where I'm going with that. Let's turn off some of the gnarly stuff. There you go. Nice. That's aftertouch. Just gives you a bit of a warble. And that's just two. Add another one. God knows what it's going to do. Nothing that I can hear. Let's turn. Oh, that's because it's all wet, isn't it? There you go. Nice. Except my playing. And finally, oh yes, you've also got this kind of nice bend thing. So you can actually choose per channel how far the bend goes. So you can have up to an octave, down to an octave. So now, if I use the pitch bend, one will go down, one will go up, and one will stay the same, which is quite nice. This is one note. Or you can do, you know, super creepy stuff by having it just going a little way. I can barely see. Bloody silly small interfaces. There you go. Yeah. So you've also got the Art Recorder. This basically records whatever this fella is playing. So you can then actually make the clever RP thing play other instruments that you've got as well. You've got an RTFM here, which shows you all the stuff I've just shown you. Et voila. And there back again are your synthesizers that we're actually using, which is nice to visualize them. As I may have said, Art has done a really good video showing you what the actual synths are that we're using here. But I like that. Also, you can right-click. There's lots of snapshots for this. I'm still building them, but there's quite a lot of snapshots. In fact, let's quickly just randomly put one on now. Geiger bass. There you go. Oh, Geiger bass 2. Problem with snapshots is they don't save the MIDI thingamadoodles, so which is a little bit annoying. But what is nice to do is to have, say, right, if you click on anything or move anything, right click, MIDI learn, then do your mod wheel, for instance, then you can then control, which is nice. And you can add other things to that as well. So you could, for instance, turn on the reverb, do the wet and dry. Ooh, never tried that. So oh, nice. Sorry, I haven't looked at you much. I apologise for that. I've been too involved. There's some starting points, which basically is all of the synthesizers just laid out in a quick and easy way like this. So this is the 3 opus, or the opie, I suppose. That's just the basic sounds. It's good if you are going to use more than one of the same synth group, is to adjust the start time a little bit, so just you can kind of play with the phasing that may or may not happen. These are also at different octaves at the moment. So even just moving that a bit changes the sound. This is also... Oh yeah, panning, yes. So you've also got... you can auto-pan various speeds, and that's how deep. Yeah. And also, you don't have to obviously use the ARP sequencer, sorry, the filter sequencer. You can just do it there. Everything is automatable. There's a demo I've done and a little film, and it's just all one of these with a lot of automation. You can do a really lot. I just think it sounds great. And it's all about, you know, playing with the routing. You can do another nifty trick where you actually turn on the EQ and turn the volume down. And then you're just basically getting the reverbs send. So if you turn those off, you got nothing. So then it's just pure wet reverb, which is quite interesting as well. There's a few presets like that. And the same goes with this. Oh, we got that one on. This reverb send as well is separate, as is the delay send. So you can have something going to the delay. But as we've got this turned down, nothing in here will have any effect. But you can add a little hint. And then there you go. Let's turn that one on there. So, you know, nice routing ideas as well. That's just one of the oscillators playing the same thing. Okay, yeah, I will wind it up here. Percy's a bit bored, I think. He's still asleep, I think. Thank you very much. New infundibulums, well, new updates, infundibulums will follow soon afterwards. And I hope you're all bearing up for whatever wave you're on at the moment. It's a bit boring and it's quite horrible, isn't it? I apologise if anyone suffered horribly from it all. Speak to you next time. I hope you're all good. And thank you very much. Bye-bye. And from Percy, I'll cut to him saying goodbye. Bye. And then Ponytail will be gone next time. I'll just go, bye.